Hey guys, welcome back to another video. We are a poorly household today. The boys had their COVID jabs last week, as you guys know, and I thought that they were just experiencing some side effects, but Eli is quite snotty and unwell, and then of course Avery is also quite unwell this morning. She's already thrown up twice. Both she and I are covered in vomit. I've cleaned her up the best I can, but I need to give her a little bit longer sitting up in her bouncer before I lay her flat to get her changed, just so that she doesn't throw up again. It's half-term week, which means the boys are home from school, and in this video I thought I would delve into a little bit more detail on what Zach is like throughout the day. If you are new to my channel, my eldest son Zachary is autistic, and I did have a request from someone to do a day in the life around Zach and his autism, so I'm just gonna go into a little bit more detail on what he likes to do in the day and how his autism kind of affects his day-to-day life. I do already have a video all about how we realised he had autism, the diagnosis process, so I will leave that one linked down below. Don't worry, you will still see plenty of Avery in this vlog, but while the boys were home I just thought it was the perfect opportunity to give Zach his chance to shine. This morning I read a comment on one of my videos from a new viewer that said she didn't understand why Avery was tube fed, and I needed to explain for new viewers why she is tube fed and why we do the things that we do in the day. And to be fair, she's absolutely right. I've gotten a little bit lazy when it comes to actually introducing my channel and my children. So if you are new here, hi, I'm Chrissy. I'm a mum of 3 and 2 of my 3 children have additional needs. My eldest son Zachary, like I just said, does have autism, and my daughter Avery, who is 19 months old, has cerebral palsy. I would love it if you would hit subscribe and follow us along on this journey that we're creating here online. We also have an Instagram account which is just @mummyandavery, and my blog is mummyandavery.com, so definitely check us out over there. So I will catch up with you guys in just a little bit. For now, as you can see, I really need to make this bed. I need to get myself and Avery dressed, and I need to get some clothes out for the boys. We don't have any outings planned today, but the health visitor is coming later on to weigh Avery, so we'd better all look at least half presentable, and I really need to do something with this hair because I just put it in plaits last night to get it out of my face, and now it's a bit of a frizzy mess. So let's get to it. So Zachary is normally one of the first to get up in the morning. Usually I'm up with Avery, seeing to her in her cot, and then he will come into Avery's room and say hello to Avery with me, which I think is really, really sweet. The first person he always wants to see in the morning is Avery, which melts my heart. And then he will always run downstairs and go, "I'm gonna go get Frozen ready." So he comes down and he puts Frozen on the TV ready for when Avery comes down, which is just, it's adorable. I don't ask him to do that, he just does it of his own accord. And then the medicine you would have seen me getting out for him this morning is oxybutynin. He takes that for his bladder. So Zach has an overactive bladder, I suppose. And then I will sort out the boys' breakfast and their drinks in the morning, and they also have a multivitamin. I'll do all that sort of in between Avery having her meds and then her feed, because that kind of gives me a bit of a half-an-hour window. Like I said, the plan is just to stay at home today. It is Monday. Bless you. Oh my goodness, we are just all coffee and spluttery today, aren't we? Oh, poor pudding. The weather is okay, so I might take the boys for a little stroll to our local shop a bit later on, but we do have the health visitor coming, which I think I mentioned earlier, to weigh Avery ready for her dietitian appointment tomorrow, just to keep a track of where her weight is make sure she's still gaining weight and make sure the blended diet is working out for her growth wise. What Zachary really does for most of the day, to be honest, is play. And when I say play, what I mean is he'll play with 2 inanimate objects. Normally it is 2 pieces of Lego, and he will make up his own game in his head, and he will make these bizarre noises. I'm sure you will hear them at some point in this video, but he makes these noises, and I've asked him about it multiple times, and he just said it's just his imagination. It's a game that he's thinking of in his head, which I'm glad that his imagination can keep him occupied like that. I have spoken to his Senko at school, which is basically kind of the person that is in charge of anything special needs related in the school, and she thinks it could be a way that he manages sensory overload, because he brings these toys so near to his face and he makes these very loud noises. She thinks that's a way for him to kind of block out everything in the background and block out the background noise as well, which does make a lot of sense, because if you turn the TV up to kind of hear it over Zach's playing, Zach will then get louder and louder. So it does make sense. In between playing, he also likes to show a lot of interest in what I'm doing. So if I'm cooking something in the kitchen, or if I'm making something for Avery, he likes to come and see what I'm doing. Yesterday, he actually spent some of the day in the kitchen with me while I was batching Avery's breakfast blends. And every day, without fail, he will always make time to stop and spend some time with his little sister, which I absolutely love. The bond that Zach and Avery have is like, it's like no other. I think Avery and Zach have probably got the strongest bond out of all of the siblings, which I don't know if it's just coincidence, the fact that it's both of them that have additional needs. It probably is just coincidence, but I just absolutely love how much Zach loves Avery, and Avery is just so curious about Zach. I see the way she looks at him. She loves Zachary as well, and it is just the sweetest relationship for a mother to see. And what are you doing?
Playing Pokemon.
Oh, you're playing Pokemon.
I'm using Gibble.
Gibble?
Gibble.
Is that a Pokemon?
Yeah. Gibble's a pretty card. It's a dragon and earth type, but it's also really powerful.
And what's that in your hand, Zach?
2 pieces of Lego, like always.
2 pieces of Lego, like always. And what are they in your game?
They're being the Pokemon.
The Lego's the Pokemon. Right, okay. Eli, what's all that tissue behind you?
Last night I had a very snuffy nose, so I had to use all that.
So you left it all on the drawers?
Not anymore. I'm going to use this Pokemon. Chimchar, I choose you. They might not in the game very often. Don't listen to him. Listen to me. Don't. Listen to me. I really fancy making some pancakes, and I think it would be a nice treat for the boys, so I might do that, and then I might blend some up for Avery and give them to her. I think feeds for Avery are going to go a bit ski-whiff today because she's already thrown up her meds and her breakfast, so I'm going to skip her snack and maybe give her like an early lunch, and then just give her a nice big flush in between lunch and dinner to try and boost her hydration a little bit. I don't think it's worth trying to keep on top of all of her meals today. She'll just end up throwing them up, so I'm gonna make some pancakes.
just tried to get Avery down for a bit of a nap, but she is just not having it. She doesn't want to go to sleep. So yeah, the boys are upstairs playing on their switches for a little bit. I now need to tidy up all of this mess. That's what happens when you make pancakes. But the boys were really excited about it and Avery kept them down, so definitely worth it. I'm gonna tidy up and then I'm gonna get the boys a snack and some water, because I mentioned that Zachary is on oxybutynin. He has to be drinking a certain amount of water each day just to make sure that the tablets don't make him poorly. So especially when we're at home, I need to keep on top of his hydration as well. At school, I just kind of ask the TAs that he drinks 2 of his big water bottles a day, and then he'll have a cup of water either side of school as well, and I know that's enough. But at home, it's a little bit trickier to monitor, which kind of makes no sense, but it just is. But I just need to make sure he's drinking enough.
Now quickly, use whirlwind.
Would you boys like to show everyone your t-shirts?
Yeah.
Very good. Do you wanna talk about them?
Well, my best. I was colouring in the gods. Yeah. So I only use them red and yellow and brown. So I used the brown to colour in them 2 sticks. And I think that's all of it. And some of the bit. Yeah, and the feet were brown because they're shoes. And I left these white bits because they're actually cloths, white ones. And I used red for skin instead of pink because I didn't have any pink. And then I used yellow. And then I used yellow for the owl because it's a special owl. And also, wait a minute. Yeah, I think I used thunder for yellow as well. And I used the helmets and armor things for yellow as well. Yeah, and the hair for like.
And what are they though, Zach? What are they?
Armors.
No, what are the people on your t-shirt?
Zeus and Athena.
Athena.
Athena. Who's Athena?
They're Greek gods and a Greek goddess.
So I used different colours. All the colours I have that I had from this. So that's the country, Greek, I think.
Crete.
Crete.
It's an island. It's a Greek island. That's where Mummy went.
Greek island. That's an octopus. Special one. That is a person. I think a goat.
Mummy saw goats in Crete.
Yay! Got it right. That. Dolphin.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that is.
It looks like a bull, yeah.
What is that?
I don't know. Well, they are both very good boys.
Yeah.
Well done. The boys are back upstairs on their electricals now. To be honest, it's what they enjoy to do most. I try and break up the time that they're allowed on the electricals, like their Xbox and their Switches and stuff. On weekdays, they only usually get them for about half an hour after dinner on school days, but since it's half term, I'm giving them a little bit more time on them just because we're not going anywhere. It's cold outside, and as you guys know, we are pretty much housebound unless something is in walking distance. I just think it's starting to get a bit too cold for the park and stuff now. They play together okay sometimes. I'm not gonna lie, one of the most frustrating things about having 2 boys of similar ages is the arguments. One of Zach's traits of his autism is that he feels as though he needs to be in control all the time. He becomes quite anxious if he's in a situation where he doesn't have control over it. And like I said, they're very similar in ages. Zach is 2 years older, which means he feels as though he should have authority over Eli, but in terms of their development, they're around the same age, so Eli's very much pushing back at the moment. He's found his own personality, he knows what he likes to do, and he does push back quite a bit, so it kind of causes Zach to be a little bit condescending towards Eli sometimes. He'll often make some kind of snide or mean remarks to him, which is sad because they're brothers and I just want them to love each other. But I think it's quite common for siblings to fight and argue. Whenever I've spoken to other people about it, they've said that they deal with exactly the same and it's really normal. So today is Monday and normally we would have karate on a Monday evening, but because my mum isn't available to help or to watch Avery and Eli until my husband gets home, we can't go today. I would have normally just skipped it for the week, but it is badge week, so Zachary has the opportunity to... Oh dear. Oh, Pudding. Poorly Pudding. Zachary has the opportunity to earn a badge this week and I know that he'd be really upset to miss out on that, so we've decided to book him in for Wednesday instead, because my mum can't help out on Wednesday. So it is actually going to be quite nice to have a quiet Monday evening. I'm really looking forward to that. I think what I might actually do is go down to the shop, get a few snacky bits for me and my husband this evening, because that's something that we really love to do. We love to sit in bed and just watch TV and eat a load of junk. But Avery has not been sleeping the best. Last night she didn't actually go down until about 10:30. But then this morning she's woken up like this, all grizzly and snotty and poorly and coughing and spluttering. So I'm kind of hoping that is the reason why, and now that it's come out, she might sleep better. That might be wishful thinking, but hopefully it would be very nice, Pudding, if you would go to bed at bedtime tonight. Yes, it would. So I would definitely consider Zach's autism on the higher functioning end. I am noticing more and more of his traits become more obvious as he gets older. Particularly the control issue that I just talked about. Oh, Pudding, you've got my hair. You've got my hair. You got my hair. Let go of Mummy's hair. Let go of Mummy's hair. It was a bad idea to leave my hair down. Let go of Mummy's hair. Oh, thank you. That's not funny. That wasn't funny. It hurts. Oh, Pudding. His social skills as well, I feel as though are becoming... It's becoming more and more apparent that he does have some difficulties socially. He can come across a little bit awkward to people that don't know him. I mean, it doesn't faze us here at home. For us, it's just Zach. But I've just noticed when he's tried to make conversations with school friends or other children his age, he can come across a little bit awkward and children don't really know how to take it, which is sad. But I have spoken to his teacher in school and she said that he does have friends in school. She said he doesn't really have any friendship groups or sort of a best friend that he clings to, but he is always involved in some kind of game in the break times, which does make me happy because I was worried that he was just kind of like he is at home at school and kept to himself and didn't really play with other children, and the thought of that made me quite sad. Also, as he's getting older, I've noticed his need for his own space and his own time. He's often pushing Eli away just because he wants to play his games on his own. I mean, you've seen in the clips how he plays. That is how he plays every single day. So imagine trying to get in on that game. It would be quite difficult for Zach to find a way to involve somebody else in the way he plays. But I mean, the boys share a room. There really isn't a whole lot we can do about that. I have talked to Eli and told him that sometimes he does need his own space because Eli can get quite bratty when he doesn't have anyone to play with, which I think is kind of one of the reasons why Eli is definitely the needier out of the two. He does cling to me quite a bit and he's full of questions. He's always trying to make conversation. I think it is just because he's bored. But anyway, it looks as though Avery's health visitor has just turned up. So, shall we see how much you weigh, baby girl? Hey? Shall we see if you're still growing properly? Yeah? And then maybe you'll go for a nap. Maybe? Yes? Yes? No? Okay. It's a little bit later now. We have been to the shop. Not gonna lie, I'm starting to feel a little bit fuzzy headed. I don't not feel well, I feel fine. I'm just feeling a little bit like My head's in the clouds a little bit, my body is aching slightly, so I really hope I'm not coming down with what the kids have. I think I'm gonna close this vlog off here. We're just gonna be chilling out for the rest of the day now. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, then please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in a few days with another video. Bye guys.